let me just state something sort of controversial for a moment, or very controversial probably. I think the Houston Astros in their current form are great for Major League Baseball. Hear me out for a moment before you write any obscenities down in the comments below. Greetings, baseball fans, and welcome to the Suicide Squeeze Baseball Show here on the Fireball Review channel. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is one of the saddest days of the year for me. It is right up there with the day after Christmas and the day after the McRib is callously pulled from the heat lamps of McDonald's, because today is the day after the World Series, and when the dust settled on the 2022 baseball season, everyone's favorite team, you know them, you love them, you hate them, okay, most of you hate them, America's team, the Houston Astros, emerged as World Series champions. Link down below for the reason why I call them America's team, by the way, so go check that out. But before we get into the Astros, I have a small little mini rant to tell you all about. Now, first off, let me just send a huge congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies. I thought these guys would get smacked by the Cardinals. They knocked off the Cardinals. I thought they would definitely get smacked by the Braves. They knocked off the Braves. Then I thought there was a pretty good chance the Padres would knock them off. They knocked off the Padres, and then the Astros, I thought the Astros would just sweep them right out of the World Series, or at least win the series in 5 games. And the Phillies made a great series out of it. And if Rob Thompson does not get NL Manager of the Year, we should go to every baseball writer in the United States of America and light dog poo on their front lawn and set it on fire, because this guy is definitely Manager of the Year, but he screwed up royally last night. This isn't even so much a rant against Rob Thompson as it is a rant about Major League Baseball as a whole. This whole nonsense about third time through the order, that the ace pitcher on a staff, or even not even an ace pitcher, even if a guy's just rolling along like Brett Anderson was against the Padres in the Dodgers series, oh my God, he's thrown 82 pitches, even though he's got like a 2-hitter going. We got to take him out of the game. It's the third time around the order. This is just utter nonsense. And I don't even want to come down too hard on the managers here, because I think a lot of these decisions are made by the analytics department and the general managers. And I am not in any way, shape, or form against analytics. Look, if you are in Tampa Bay or you're in Oakland, you have no chance in hell of winning the World Series, let alone just getting to the playoffs without analytics. But when you get into the postseason, you got to let the managers do their job. You got to let the pitchers pitch deep into these games. There is no reason why Zach Wheeler couldn't have thrown 100 to 120 pitches in that game. You're paying this guy a ton of money. Let him pitch. We saw it a few years ago with Blake Snell in 2020 when Kevin Cash pulled him way too early in that game. And we saw the 2 longest games in Major League Baseball playoff history this postseason when Cleveland and Tampa Bay played each other. I think that game ended in 16 innings. It was 0-0 up to that point. Then literally a week later, the exact same thing happened when Seattle and Houston were playing each other. It went 18 innings. It was 0-0 going to the 18th. But you're going to have one of these games, or one of these managers, or the GM, or the analytics department tells a manager to pull a pitcher after the 3rd inning when he's only thrown like 40 pitches, and he's given up like a double, so we got to pull him from the game already. And you're going to use all your pitchers up. You're going to get into the 15th or 16th inning. You're not going to have any pitchers left, and you're going to make an ass of yourself. You're going to have to bring in a third baseman or a right fielder or some other position player to pitch in a playoff game. You're babying these guys too much. Nolan Ryan, guys, threw 200 pitches in one game. I'm not saying that should happen, but this sort of wussification that is going on in Major League Baseball, where they're babying these pitchers, it has to stop. This is just madness. But circling back to the Houston Astros, I did pick these guys to win the World Series at the beginning of the postseason. I wasn't smart enough to pick them at the beginning of the season, though. That distinction went to the Milwaukee Brewers. What a disaster that turned out to be. But be that as it may, the reason I picked the Astros is because they just do everything well. They're not the best in every category, but they're in the top 2 or 3 in bullpen, in starting pitching, in offense, in defense. They're a well-managed team. They have a good blend of old school and analytics. You can't go all in on analytics. You can't go all in on the old school approach to baseball. They've found a good mix to it. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, These guys know you hate them, and they don't give a damn, okay? If you guys haven't seen the movie Scarface with Al Pacino, go see it. It's a great movie. He plays this over-the-top gangster, villainous type character. But there is a scene in that movie where he is in this restaurant with all these squares and yuppies. It's a really fancy restaurant. And he just basically goes on this drunken rant about him being the bad guy, and he doesn't care that he's the bad guy. That's really what the Houston Astros have become these last couple of years. They've just leaned into this whole bad guy reputation role.
So say goodnight to the bad guy. Come on.
Even the Astros social media director has embraced their villainous ways. This man or woman, whoever it was, trolled the Seattle Mariners after they swept them in the division series with a tweet simply stating, "See y'all next year." Let me just state something sort of controversial for a moment, or very controversial probably. I think the Houston Astros in their current form are great for Major League Baseball. Hear me out for a moment before you write any obscenities down in the comments below, because I am not advocating in any way, shape, or form for their behavior back in 2017. It was wrong. They cheated. Guys like Bregman and Altuve, they're never going to live that down for the rest of their lives. But if you guys go to an action movie or a Marvel movie or a DC movie and the movie kind of sucks, good reason why sometimes it sucks is because the villain sucks. If in an action movie the villain is no good, it doesn't matter if the hero is great or not. The movie is just going to fall flat on its face. And the Astros, to be quite honest with you, are the #1 villain throughout Major League Baseball currently. Now, over the past 30 years or so throughout Major League Baseball, there's been 3 teams that have sort of wore the black hat. One of them being the New York Yankees. The Yankees are always going to be like the #1 villain throughout Major League Baseball because they have like a gazillion championships, and their fans remind us of this on a daily basis. They spend a lot of money. Then the Red Sox broke through in 2004, winning that World Series and breaking the curse. They started spending money like the Yankees and winning like the Yankees and running their mouth like the Yankee fans. Then the Dodgers did this. They haven't had the success as far as winning World Series, but they've been very successful and they spend a lot of money. But what is the one common denominator with all 3 of these teams? When these teams come to town, people want to go to these games. ESPN, everybody always complains, why do they always have the Red Sox and Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball? Why do they always have the Dodgers and Giants? Because you know what, guys? Villains sell. These teams are hated by everyone, and people want to see villains fail. Even if you're not a fan of these teams, you will go pay money to watch them play your team in the hope of seeing them being defeated. In the NFL, the Raiders have cultivated a whole reputation on being the bad guy and wearing the black hat. Even though the Raiders have sucked for the better part of 4 decades now. These guys have not won a Super Bowl, folks, since 1983. And the Astros just need to lean into this. They will pick up fans because there's always a group of people in the world that root for the villains, okay? They'll root for Freddy Krueger to kill the babysitter. They'll root for the snake to eat the rat in the Instagram videos that people post all the time. So they're going to make money, and you know what? When they go out on the road, people are going to pay money to see them go down in defeat. They're going to bang their trash cans. They're going to give them the middle finger. But you know what? The Astros in Major League Baseball, they're going to rake in the dough. It's going to make things a lot more interesting. The ratings will go up. But now I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down in the comments below. Are the Astros' villainous ways good for Major League Baseball? And I got news for you folks. The Astros are going nowhere. With that starting pitching staff with Javier and Framber Valdez and McCullers, they are going to be good for a very long time. They are going to be a threat for a very long time. They are going to invoke a lot of hostile activities when they go onto the road. But is this a good thing for Major League Baseball, or am I way out of line here? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, hit that dislike button if you like this video. Otherwise, see you next time. Toodles.